Hello, welcome to Premier Guns, and today we're going to be talking about the Browning Citori 725 trap. So this gun you might not have seen before, or if you have, very rarely seen. This is an American spec 725. Mechanically, no different to the standard 725 that we get here. There's a few subtle changes and differences which I'm going to run through today. Each manufacturer manufactures guns for different markets. So the American market want different things to the UK market. So in the UK, we don't get American spec guns and vice versa. Occasionally a few trickle through the cracks and we do get American spec guns. This was sold by us originally, and I'm going to tell you how we came about it. One of the major differences with this 725 is the woodwork. This wood is American walnut. A lot of the Miracus come with American walnut, but not so much the Brownings anymore. A lot of the Brownings come with Turkish walnut. This is American walnut. Originally this stock would have been lacquered. Again, a thing that's fallen out of favour in the UK. Very rarely you'll find a gun with lacquered stocks nowadays. More of a 70s, 80s thing. So this has had a traditional oil finish put on it. In my opinion, it's a lot nicer. Lacquer's really nice when it's brand new, fresh, looks really good. But then as soon as you put a mark on it, you get a big white indent, it just ruins the gun. It just ruins the look of the gun. So this has been tastefully done with a proper traditional London oil finish. Being a trap gun, obviously these come a lot shorter in the stock. There's all 14.5 inches, but this model does come with the set of the trap pad, traditional Browning trap pad, Marut trap pad. A lot of people substitute these for other things nowadays, kickies, pads, servolati pads. Again, a thing that's fallen out of fashion. Also, these guns being a bit short in the stock, a lot of people want a longer stock, so they'll put a longer kickies on it with spacers and whatnot. Again, being an American spec gun, comes with a little bit different stock dimensions, as well as being shorter, 14.5, like all trap guns really, from Browning and Miraku. The comb height on this is slightly odd, so it has a reverse drop. So it's higher at the back than the front, which to a UK audience a bit odd, because usually it's higher at the front than the back. The reason for this is the way Americans shoot trap, you lock yourself in. So when it's quite a difficult one to explain, but they put the head further back. So when they put the head on the stock, being higher at the back, it sort of locks them in, opposed to us putting our heads at the front of the stocks. It's just a different style of shooting. At the end of the day, there's very famous British trap shooters who have done incredibly well, just as well as the Americans. It's just a different way and style they shoot. Obviously, non-auto safe, being a competition clay gun. The trigger system on these is exactly the same as the English or European spec 725, mechanical. Still have the option to change the trigger blades. On the action, it's no different, but apart from the engraving or the patterning, slightly different. I quite like this pattern. It's a bit of a different one, a bit more tasteful. I like plainer action guns, certainly sporting guns, but the standard 725, it is literally just brushed stainless steel. It's a bit plain. I do find this is plain, but it's got a nice pattern on, which we'll get some closer pictures of for you to have a look at. But all standard grade 725s, they're not plain, they come with this patterning on. Again, barrel selector, over, under, you can still select that. And you also have the option to put it on and off safe, so nothing changes there really. A lot of this gun really is the stock dimensions. The rib on this gun is where the next difference comes. Very similar to a UK spec Browning XT rib. A little bit different dimension. It's a little bit higher, not a lot to be honest. It's very tit for tat. Stepped rib as well. I like a stepped rib. A lot of people do. I think it transitions your eye better onto the rib. Personal preference again. The fore end, standard beaver tail fore end that you get on the standard 725, dimensionally identical, no different. The checkering, again, identical as well. We'll get some more close-ups to this on here, but this also has a very deep palm swell, very similar, almost a bigger palm swell than a 725 Pro Sport, which is another difference just to mention on these. This particular model is a 30-inch barrel. They did do it in a 32, but this is a 30-inch model that we've got here today. Ventilated mid-rib, same as most sporting guns now, on all the 725, well, all sporting guns apart from the Maruks. The next big thing about this gun compared to a standard European spec gun is this little feature over here, porting. Porting, 70s, 80s and 90s was quite a popular thing to have done onto guns. it's fallen out of favour in the UK. Very, very rarely you'll see a gun, certainly with factory porting. Some Benelli, the Super Sports, the Autos, I think they used to come with porting, but even they don't now. The problem also with porting, now that steel is going to be a thing, maybe for playgrounds as well in the future, is the fact that using steel through a ported barrel, I've been trying to call different entities to find out if you can actually put steel through a ported barrel, and that's harder than you'd think to get a straight answer, so no one really knows. We are going to get a ported gun in, an old ported gun, and we are going to proof it for high performance steel and just see what happens as a bit of a test to get a definitive answer. In theory there shouldn't be any problem because the steel is kept within the in the wad, and then it's ejected out the barrel, so the steel never touches the outer wall of the, well, in theory, the outer wall of the barrel, so there shouldn't be a problem. But with lead, I suppose if a pellet did get through and just hit the porting, wouldn't really be an issue because it's very malleable. Wouldn't be ideal, don't get me wrong, but the problems with steel, if that hits a groove in the porting, it's more than likely going to rip through the barrel, which is definitely not ideal. So it's a bit of a grey area, but to be honest, for the next 5 years at the very least on playgrounds, you'd be fine with it. The idea with porting is to reduce muzzle flip. Again, it's a very, if it does or doesn't work, some people can feel it, some people can't. The idea is when you're shooting, the gas is extracted out the top of the barrel, so it pushes almost the muzzle down to keep your barrels straighter or on target. I can't personally tell a difference, but some people can. This is really why it got phased out, because again, it's a bit of a tit for tat thing. It's not like a definitive, yes, that really does make a difference. Also, with porting, technically it's a weakness in your barrel. You've got holes in it, for want of a better word. So rain, debris gets through it. We know someone who's got a DT10 that's ported. He's had it ported for 20 something years now, or longer. It's never had a problem. But a lot of people, when you say you've got holes in your barrel, you think, So that's one of the reasons also it fell out of favour. Last thing just to mention on this gun, multi-chokes. All 725s, even stateside guns, are all Invector DS, Invector double seal choked. So again, same as our 725s. This model comes with flush chokes. You can put extended chokes in, not an issue. This comes with a set of 5. These, I haven't got the box here today, but these guns do come in a cardboard box, a bit like the Marukes, grade 5s and grade 1s. Hopefully you learned something or found something a bit interesting in that. If you have any questions, drop us a comment below. Subscribe and like the channel, does help us out, knows what we're going to do, and if you drop a comment with something that I can actually do a video on, something that's in the shop, happy to do that as a suggestion for next time. But yeah, hopefully you found that enjoyable. Stay tuned for the next one.